The winter of 1906 had a taste. Coal dust. It coated your tongue no matter how much water you drank. We were a small crew, 6 of us, living in a shanty of board and canvas called Dry Camp Number 3, 30 miles from a Nevada settlement that's since been wiped from the map. I'd come from Utah after the copper mines let men go, lured by the promise of steady pay from a thick coal seam. Our days were a simple, grueling rhythm. Up before dawn, beans and hard bread, then a trudge up the narrow-gauge track to the dark mouth of the mine. We were a rough bunch. Connolly, a tall Irishman with a patchy beard. Alvarez, a Mexican laborer who said the coal here smelled wrong, too dry and sour. A young kid we called Sparrow, who lied about his age to get hired. And the Ward brothers, Eli and Thomas, quiet men from Kansas who kept to themselves. The work was ordinary, until the day my pick struck a hollow note and broke through into emptiness. A gust of cold, stale air, locked away for ages, washed over us. We widened the hole to find a cavern, low ceiling and dry. In its center stood a pillar of pale, smooth stone, carved with patterns that were neither writing nor random cracks. The air felt heavy, and it was hard to breathe. The company manager, a man named Briggs, who never dirtied his hands, came down and saw it as an opportunity. He ordered a small party, me, Connolly, and Thomas Ward, to explore further. We tied a rope and ventured deeper, finding a narrow passage that sloped down. The walls were scarred with tool marks that didn't look human, and the floor was dusted with strange, 3-pronged depressions. We found a second chamber. Here, the walls had smooth, vertical grooves, and a ring of stones sat on the floor, its center blackened by some ancient, small fire. Scattered nearby were thin, hollow bones from no creature I knew. It was then we first heard it, a soft, rhythmic clatter from the depths, like stones being tapped together. It was patient, and it felt intentional. Briggs ordered us to push deeper. In a lower chamber, we found a single trough carved into the floor, stained with a residue that was still shockingly, vibrantly red. That was enough for Briggs. We retreated, sealed the passage, and were told to keep quiet. But the sounds didn't stop. That night, the tapping started, a dry 2-tap rhythm coming from deep beneath the ridge. Then it moved closer, right under the bunkhouse floor. Camp grew tense. The local Shoshone, who always avoided the ridge, came to warn us. An elder said the hill held old rooms and that something stirred when the earth slept. Briggs dismissed them. The taps grew louder, closer, until one night they came from directly beneath the tool shed. Eli Ward, who had gone to investigate, came screaming back into camp, his eyes wide with a terror that stole his voice. He collapsed and died right in front of us, clawing at his own throat. Briggs sent the uninvolved men away. Only our original crew remained. We were being isolated. The ground around the bunkhouse was now encircled by fresh, sharp-edged depressions. We were being measured. The end came on a night with no moon. We had moved our camp to the creek, seeking open ground. The taps came from multiple directions at once, a coordinated symphony from below. Then, from the darkness at the edge of our lamplight, they emerged. They were tall, pale, and moved with a fluid, terrifying speed. Their skin was a dry, greenish hide with overlapping ridges, and their heads were elongated, with flat, dark eyes. They had long limbs that ended in curved black claws. Briggs fired his pistol at the nearest one. The bullet had no effect. The creature crossed the distance in a blur, slashing Briggs's arm with a casual, precise swipe before retreating to its silent vigil. They began to herd us, forcing us away from the ridge and across the creek. Thomas Ward had refused to leave his brother's body in the shed. As we backed away, we saw the creatures form a silent ring around the tool shed. The door shook from within, then was pushed slowly inward. The things entered. Thomas never made a sound. We fled, walking the rails by lamplight until we found a settlement. Briggs died days later. His wounds festered with a strange poison. We told our story to a lawman, who took notes with a skeptical face. Later, we learned a recovery team found dry camp number 3 utterly empty. No bodies, no signs of a struggle. The mine entrance had collapsed, sealing the hill. The official record likely calls us liars or madmen. I am the last one who remembers. The others are all gone now, claimed by time or silence. I know what we saw in that hill. I know what lives in the deep, dark places of this earth. And I know with a chilling certainty that haunts my dreams that they were not trying to kill us. They were just reclaiming their territory. They let us leave.